Hi, Rob. Just let me explain a little bit the presentation. It was 3 slides on channel enablement. This works. Okay. So basically, assessment of 3D market. Okay. We have the 4 key variables of looking at the channel, who we have, what are their capacities, how are they going to market, and what's the performance, how are we rewarding it. And if we're breaking it down into 2 parts: 3D printing market and manufacturing transformation. Do we have the partners to the 3D market? We think we're on par, except in Japan. In terms of manufacturing transformation, do we have the partner for that? No, that's the reality. We're not there. In terms of 3D printing market, do we have the capabilities? We're below expectations because of the sales rate that we have. And do we have the capacities for manufacturing transformation, reduced on both internally and externally, because we don't have those capabilities even internally. In terms of go-to-market, there's been a lack of targeted focus. However, this is very driven by our own HP lack of targeted focus in terms of verticals. In terms of actual performance, well, below expectations. And when there's manufacturing transformation, is that below expectations? Well, basically it's been driven by HP globally. There's a situation, you can skip this, but basically these are the reasons that we see. We have enrolled most 3D printing specialist partners that we're target, except in Japan, one of the big Stratasys partners. That's the only one that escaped. Do we have transformational partners? Well, actually, a couple, CNC, like Leapboard or Protechnic, but in reality, we haven't gone deep. Solace could be more a transformational one. We don't capacities. We don't have AEs in country. We haven't had a training or localization of training in any country. In terms of our go-to-market, why we think it's a little bit weak, we had lack of vertical depth, but this is driven internally and externally. But our main focus in terms of go-to-market has been the low-hanging fruit, and we know that. Okay. And in terms of performance, well, basically we've delivered below expectations and with a strong pricing pressure. Current KPIs that we look at this, I think the interesting one for you is 0 AE trained until last week. In terms of our all partners, this is driven by our situation, but also by inertia from GBU that we're trying to fix. And when you have the key KPIs that I think are the numbers that you'll focus on, is the ratio of funnel versus objective. Right now, the funnel is going down, and we're at an average of 1.5 when we should have 4, well, between 3 and 4. So we're well below the funnel objective we should have. And this is the important part: end user sales per partner 0.5, or end user sales per salesperson dedicated to channel 1.1. Okay, so we have clearly an assessment, the situation, and the KPIs. What are the levers that we can press? We can change the selection and the optimization and organization of which partners we have. We can train the partners. We can invest in them and focus in certain areas, or we can empower the stronger one and try to drive behavior and reward part performance. In terms of action plan, new partner selection in key areas. This is clearly Japan. Partner portfolio rationalization. This could happen in China with 18 partners, probably in Southeast Asia, as we have too many probably in Thailand, for example, is a clear case. Then in terms of very clear training, we have to get everyone absolutely trained. At the same time, how we can engage top partners, create a 3D printing partner council for those top partners, and do some mid-term co-investment deals with some key partners like Solace, DKSH, Evoke 3D, Shindo, the big ones that we know can really make a difference or we're performing. We should actually have a longer term approach with them. And in terms of developing a stronger empowerment of partners, vertical specialized MDF, okay, this has been a long request from IBJ team to actually have a vertical specialized for top partners, okay. We're giving them MDF only for them. And partner tiering. I mean, this would be partly related. You have a tiering where you have different benefits depending on which partners. They're completely different and very clearly clarified. We presented this in Japan actually already. In terms of expected KPIs, I think the important one for you is we would improve the conversion if we have the AEs trained, for sure. Okay, this should help. Improvement of funnel versus objective ratio. this should drive us from 0.50 to 0.91 in terms of sales per partner. Okay, 20% of that improvement would come from the selection, the optimization of that focus. 25% would come from the improvement in training and the A level, and 55% of this would come from actually funnel management and increase. It's all connected. Obviously, the improvement in partners and the improvement in the training, but overall, this should give us an 80% increase or impact on the business. Just as an example, here you have the KPIs in sales per partner by sub-region in case. This is obviously planning, but it helps to understand what is the picture, okay, in terms of the increase in sales per partner in China, in Japan, in Korea, because we have big gaps here. The rest of in the mature market like South Pac should actually stay pretty stable because they're already there, and the rest of APJ markets. Just in case you need it, here you have, for example, in terms of training, we've already set up, this is driven by Ariadna and a joint project with Simon, Mitchell, and myself, okay, to drive GBU and get all the details. We still require, and due to our lack of bandwidth, for GBU to guarantee a resource that supports us in the logistics of all this kind of events. So I hope this is helpful.